Rise up, make that decision. God will provide all your needs. He wants you to succeed. Have faith of a mustard seed. Get up on your feet. Rise up.
Welcome to the Drexwell Seymour Show. Well, I'm back from my break, and it's a pleasure to have my first guest, Prophet Marilyn Harvey. It's such a great opportunity to have her. I mean, it's been a very long time trying to get Ms. Harvey on the show, but you know, everything takes time. And I am very, very grateful for the opportunity. We're going to hear about her life story, or at least part of her life story, where she came from to where she is now, being on crack, and then now she's a disciple of Jesus Christ. And we're going to hear even about her story of a life-changing experience recently, where she almost died, or she practically died and came back. And I'm excited to share this interview with you. And hopefully it will encourage you, hopefully it will inspire you, hopefully it will increase your faith and belief in God, and knowing that all things are possible. And it doesn't matter who you are and where you come from. God has a purpose for you, and you can fulfill that purpose. If Marilyn could change, I could change, you could change too. There's something special for each of you. I'm not going to prolong this any longer, but I just want to take this opportunity again to welcome Prophet Marilyn Harvey to the Drexwell Seymour Show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Yes.
It really is a pleasure, and it's been a long time coming.
Finally.
I said to somebody, I think this is my probably 5 years I've been saying, no, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Ready yet. But we don't know what we're not ready for.
Yeah.
You know, and my story is, it'll take some time to tell the story, but I will do it succinctly today, and make sure that you can grasp something for your own self. You know, people often ask me now, how you come from over there to over here? Mm-hmm. And I shake my head and I say, only God.
That's right.
Because it's only Him that preserved me to be able to come to grips with my own self. You know, crack is a dangerous drug, and I found myself first just leisurely doing it for fun, doing it like you go out, you drink all night, then you take a little bump because that would bring you back around, so you thought. And then you continue to do it. And it takes away everything from you. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Mm-hmm. It takes away from you. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people keep asking me, you're super smart. How is it that you get caught on crack? The smartest of us has a problem.
Yeah.
Has a thorn. Mm-hmm. Something about us that causes us to look for refuge in something else. Mm-hmm. And that is where I got caught up, because I was looking for refuge from my own self. Mm-hmm. I could say that. But my downfall was, I liked it. I liked what it felt like. It didn't make me nasty. Mm-hmm. So I had more control over it. Okay. I had control over the substance that I took. Because a lot of people didn't even realize that I used to. Because I went to work. Uh-huh. But when you see nightfall, I go in my room and I smoke.
Wow.
But then there are people that know, because you have to buy the stuff from somebody.
Right.
So somebody's going to know. And then, when somebody knows, they tell the next person, they tell the next person, and the other person. But I think my life was geared the way it was, and I can say this, for ministry, because everything I've been through in my lifetime, I now deal with it in my world now.
Right, and it's good for you. It's good for people that you are able to minister to because you went through it.
Yes.
So sometimes we want to minister to people we really can't comprehend or imagine what they go through. You went through that.
A lady said to me one day, she'd say, I want to go with you when you go into the ghetto areas. I say, no, baby. I can't take you there. You're too crispy. You're too clean. You know what I mean? And they would spot that the minute you walk in there. The minute you get into that area, somebody's going to look at you and go like, so what are you bringing her for? Why is she here? Or why he here? They see you. They see me because they know me. They identify with me, even if that was in my place where I hang out. But the minute somebody who used to smoke see me, they can relate to me. Now, even this. Isn't that crazy?
Even after being transformed?
Yes.
They can relate to you?
Yes, because there's something about a lingo, about your body, about your verbiage. It says something to the next person. Like I could spot an ex-crackhead anywhere, even with a suit on. You hear me?
That's interesting.
It is, but it's the truth. You can identify because even some body languages tell you where they've been. And I was speaking. I had a speaking engagement, and the lady said to me, she says, we have pastors and bishops, apostles, prophets, and this is our audience. And I said, okay, so why you choose me? She said, for some reason or the other, God say, get you. These people were saved
many years.
And here now, their teacher, their lecturer, the person who's their spokesperson is somebody who just got saved. And I got up, I spoke, and everybody was like, so why she say you just came in? I said, because I just did. Coming into the kingdom was something different from me, and I don't know if a lot of people realize that you get saved because you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You ain't get saved. You get saved because God called you, touch you, drag you in, you're saved. No man comes unto the Father unless he draws them to him. So some of us, at first, we get into trouble, and the first thing you say, I go into church, I getting saved. And God can help me in this problem right here, and he can take me out of this problem. So you sitting down and you done got this worked out there, you're going to get saved. 2 seconds down the street, you fall down. You backslide. And then somebody say, oh, I know ain't nothing was good in her. I know.
Yeah, she never changed.
Yeah, she ain't never changed. She ain't never do nothing. But it wasn't my turn. Because it happened to me. It wasn't my turn. And 2009, I remember my brother had died, Melvin, my last brother. And I went to Melvin's funeral, and when I got to Melvin's funeral, it was like I couldn't do anything because I wasn't in my place. I was still smoking, drinking, whatever. So I couldn't relate to his death. I couldn't hold that. I didn't know how to deal with that. And a lot of people never knew that because I never spoke about it. But it was something that put me in a place where it made me thought about who I was and what I was doing and what I had earlier in my life, a couple years down, had tapped into with God. And there I'm sitting down now, and I'm trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do, though? That's after the party, and I was 50 years old and still in the club. Come on. Can't get out the club at 50?
And then you started from 19.
Yes. I mean, like, clubbing was something, and boozing and smoking and whatever was something that was, like, in the norm. So when I reached the 50, I'm still in the club. Could you, I mean, just think about that for 2 seconds, and then it'll mess you up. Because when I see people going in the club and their children are in the club, it gives me a kind of ache. Because I know what that is. I know what it is for me to go to the club with my daughter. I know what that is. I understand that. I feel that. And that's something that I cringe at right now. Because that feeling right now to me isn't a good feeling, because I wasn't the example.
And for your children. For
my children. And the life that I lead was an open example for my children to follow. I really hope that I was being a good mother, because I hug my children. I always tell my children I love them. I always make them know that this is how I feel. But I couldn't be a mother at that age. I couldn't be a mother. I had my oldest child when I was 19, Petula. And I didn't know how to be a mother. I was a kid my own self. I had 3 children, two other children, and I still didn't catch, because I still was in the partying mood. So I didn't catch them. You got to be a mommy. You got to stop this. You can't do this. This ain't what you do. This ain't how you do what you do.
So you still was acting like you were single with no children? With
no children. And I had kids. So, and then later on, then the children kind of like resent you, because they say, oh, you wasn't there for me. I can't even argue with that fact, because I wasn't there. I didn't know how to be there. And parenthood don't come with a guideline. You can't pick up a book. I don't care how much books you read. That book don't tell you how to be a parent.
No.
You learn as you go.
Yeah. And did you learn as you go?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I think so, more so with my grandchildren.
Okay.
And I wanted to love them to the place where I didn't love my own children. So I gathered the grandchildren, the grandchildren still now.
But you love your children. But
of course I love my children.
You mean you love the grands more?
I love the grands different.
You love them differently?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a different, and anybody who say they don't, we could talk about that on another show. But yes, it's a different
kind of love.
Kind of love for the grandchildren. You let them do what they feel like doing. But yes. But you know, Mr. Drexel, as much as I've been down that road, and I could fine tooth some things, and then there's some things that has to come. I started writing 2 books.
Good for you.
So a lot of things will be in the book instead of, you know.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, this is crack to Christ here.
Yeah.
This is in the street. I know the street to Christ. And now I know the street in a different manner.
Yeah. So how long you was on crack? And how did you move from being on crack to Christ?
How long I was on crack?
I know you say you started when you were around 19. And I know you say 50, you were still in
the club, smoking crack. It's a long time.
Yeah.
I had a break-in for a couple of years, and then I went right back to doing it all over again before I met Christ in 2009. But it was like...
So 2009 is when you really got committed to God.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But the time from, say, 19 to 45, 50, between there, more years on drugs than off drugs.
Wow. So did you went through some sort of counseling? How did you get off?
I was sitting in the back of the yard one morning getting ready to go to work. A friend of mine, and I was sitting in the backyard, and I used to go smoke my cigarette, drink my coffee in the mornings before I get ready for work. And while I was out there smoking, I heard, throw the cigarette down. And I said, okay, you need to stop smoking because you're talking to yourself. And then I heard it again, but I heard it so hard and so loud, I didn't have to throw the cigarette down. The cigarette dropped out of my hand, and I didn't dare pick it back up. I got up, went in the house, took a shower, changed my clothes, went to work. And when I got to work, I said to the girls, they say, so I need to get cigarettes for you? And I said, no, I stopped smoking.
Just like that?
Yes. I stopped drinking the same way. My last drink, I remember, gave me such a bad headache, I could hardly see of my eyes. That was my last drink. My last drink, my last cigarette, my last piece of crack. All in one row. I never went to a rehab center. I never had to go to a rehab center. Because I believe, this is my belief, that God dried everything up out of me that one day. And I did not. Anybody who know me know I didn't go to a rehab center. What is so crazy is that I run into people who are struggling, and I want to say to them, oh, you just have to just do this and this with them, but that's not true. If God don't touch you in that kind of way, you would have to go someplace to get help.
So it has to be through God in order for that miraculous transformation to take place, basically.
I believe that.
You can't do it on your own.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think we could, like some people say, I just stopped. I could say, I just stopped. But I know that voice that spoke to me that morning said something to me. And I know that, when you say, how long you been in rehab? I didn't go. And then people are shocked. What you mean you smoked crack all those years and you didn't go? No.
Now you mentioned earlier that you had stopped for a couple years and went back. How did you stop that time?
I got into some trouble, and then I went to the church and I looked for God. That's what I tell you about looking for God in trouble.
Yeah.
And I found him for maybe 2-3 years, and then I went right back to the same old thing. And that lasted, that's like 1994, 5, 6. And then I went back to God 2009. So that period of time between then and 2009 is like my university experience. For me, when I come out of drugs, when I come out of this, when I come out of that, when I come out of all these things, 2009, I had a stretch. Like maybe from 19, my son would have been like 5 years old. And I went haywire. I'm back in the street, been back in the club, and back in the crack.
So who's to take care of your children that time when you when you're doing this stuff? Where were your kids?
Right home with mommy.
And what about your job?
You know what? Periodically I had my own salon.
Oh, okay.
I worked for myself and taking drugs, while taking drugs. Take a hit and go and do. This is when I try to explain to people that everybody don't have the same experience.
True.
With anything that they do. And this is when I say to you, I'm on drugs, but yet I'm working. So my habit was supported by me. And I had some good jobs.
Wow.
So now I'm back to 2009.
Yeah.
And there God found me, because I didn't find him. I wasn't even looking for him. And he says, you know, everything changed. Like, I didn't have to struggle to give my life to God. I didn't have to struggle to change. When that happened to me, I wanted to change. I was tired of all this foolishness that was going on around me. I remember somebody saying to me, when I gave my life to Christ, oh, I hear you give your life to Christ. I hope you stay.
Wow.
A pastor said that to me.
So what an encouragement. Wow. Why would they say something like that to you?
And it's the same one. I said to him, if you were the man of God you're supposed to be, you would not say that to somebody that just came from the back of hell. I've had experiences where people who are in Christendom treat new people that come in like garbage.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for that's why we don't have young people going to church. That's why we don't have people in general going to. Everybody doesn't leave the church, if you notice. But it's because they're so harsh, they're so stush, you know? They up in the chest and the air, and they don't realize that they're killing the simple child who just want to live for Christ.
Yeah.
You know? And to this day, like even like the event I just had, like I do stuff and like so many people don't support it because who are you? You just come off a crack. What you doing this? And this is some of the things that I hear.
Right.
You know, if I could have turned back, I would have already. If I could have gone back to the streets, I would have already. I wouldn't stay in this.
Right.
Because of abusiveness in the church. When I tell you about church hurt.
So you were not abused in the streets?
Of course.
You accept it?
Yeah, you float with everything. And nobody don't fight you out there for you to drink alcohol. You want to drink alcohol, go drink alcohol. You understand me? When you come inside the house of God and you want to live clean now. And you trying to live clean now, but everybody trying to figure out, so why you coming here? Or why you here?
Right.
You understand that?
I understand what you're saying.
And the thing is, I didn't come in here for you.
Yeah.
I came in here because of God.
Yeah.
And my life, for me now, says to me that I have to live every day pertaining to the things of God, and I shut everything else out around me.
Yeah.
So it's not important anymore.
Yeah.
I have grown, I've matured in God, and I've reached a place in God where my life don't belong to me. I've dedicated my life to God. I give that to Him.
Yeah.
You understand? So when I hear the yang, I put it under the rug, then squash it with my foot, make sure it's there.
So how were you able to maintain your relationship with the Lord? I'm quite sure you probably were tempted to,
of course,
to go back. So how are you able to maintain that, to control, to discipline yourself?
I remember one thing. My mom said to me one day, tell her I was tired because I didn't like, she said, give it to God. There's a situation, and I said to her, I said, Mommy, this don't make no sense. How did you do this all these years? She said, I give it to God. I say, but how do you give it to God? And she looked at me and she told me, she said, you sit right there where you're sitting, talk to him, tell him what you want to say, and don't you pick it up again. Leave it right there. And I have learned, even when temptation comes to me, I give it to him. I can sit in a room where everybody's smoking crack right now. And I've walked in a crack house lately.
And you're not moved by that. It doesn't,
It don't do anything. I don't think I could smell it anymore. I don't know what happens, but I sit down because I went in to minister to some guys, and this guy is sitting down and he say, but you used to smoke, right? I say, yeah. And he say, so you ain't getting high? I said, no. And I walked out of that room just like how I walked in. And there were 5 guys in there smoking.
Praise the Lord.
So I know my deliverance came a long time ago. So I don't have to fight that.
Right.
I don't have to fight wanting to smoke, wanting to have a drink. I don't have to fight that. I have to fight sometimes cussing somebody else.
We probably all have to face that.
I have to fight that sometimes because I really want, tell you what it is.
Speak your mind.
But those other things, no. To lie, to steal, to talk foolishness, I don't have to fight that because God has given me a deliverance like none other, where I understand that He is God. And when He takes something from you, He takes it from you implicitly. He don't leave just the residue of it hanging around.
So people can be completely delivered.
Of course. You can have your little thorns, yes, of course. But those major things that you give to God, you don't have to worry about that, because they're not going to come back and bite you because they don't have no space on you anymore. Like right now, I tell you, you could light up a cigarette. I wouldn't want it. You could have a drink. I wouldn't want it.
You're not turned on by that?
No. I remember I went to dinner one time and, preachers was around. And everybody put their glasses and they got a bottle of wine for this table, a bottle of wine for this. And I said, no, don't put it in my glass. And one said to me, so, how you get so saved? And I said to her, that's not, I've drank enough alcohol to drown all of y'all. So don't try to get me to drink alcohol now. I drink alcohol now, I want to smoke. And if I start smoking, then I want to smoke. And then I want to, I know the trend.
Yeah.
So I don't touch it.
Yeah.
And there's some things that you don't touch after you've been delivered from it. You don't go back to it.
Yeah. Very good.
But people go on and on and on and on about what they think you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to be now. But you can't tell me what I'm supposed to be now, because my guidance comes only from God. I don't listen to mine.
No.
I don't want to hear what you got to say because sometimes you're talking folly anyway, and you're not making any sense. I want to go one place before I leave. I was getting ready to pour the oil in Nassau last year. And God said to me, I want you to pour the oil on the Bahamas, not in Nassau, on the Bahamas.
Throughout the Bahamas.
I know nobody like that. How are we going to do this? And I'm preparing, I'm talking to this one here, and that one there, and that one there. And I know it wasn't getting where it's supposed to go. And I was like, God, how am I supposed to do this? And I went on a fast. And when I went on this fast, I had like this open eye vision where I was sitting to like a bar area and waiting on some food or something, or waiting to order some food, and nobody came. And when I looked to the peripheral of my left eye, I saw this woman, so I turned around to like ask her, you know, if anybody coming. And when I turned to her, this is the prettiest woman I've ever seen in my whole life as a woman. Beautiful. I mean, not a blemish. And then I kind of like hear a sound, and I turn back around. There's a glass with a drink in front of me. And I said, I didn't order anything. And so this woman said to me, what you come here for? I didn't respond back to her because she wasn't talking to me. This is what I'm thinking. And then she turned around and she said, what you come here for? In a forceful voice. And I said, oh, I come here for you. The Spirit of the Lord said, the same drink they put on the table, throw it on her. And I threw this drink. And when this drink hit this woman, like all her face started to eat out.
Wow.
And she started screaming. And she started screaming and screaming. And God say, jump out the window. I could hear like this knocking on the door. And he said, jump out the window. And I jumped out of this window, drop on the ground. Guess what? He said, they were getting ready to bury you in the house.
Wow.
I jump out, and he said, now you call down the fires of heaven on this place. And I could hear the people screaming as I watched this. And then the room comes back to the normal room. So I said, God, what happened? He said, they're coming to kill you. Me now, I know God got me.
Yeah.
So I'm not even worried about this. But that's what he said to me then. I get up out of that fast, and my friend and I were running around Nassau doing some stuff. And we were driving from the airport, coming in town. You know that crazy curve by the lake? There's a curve like that goes...
Going to the airport?
Yeah, out to the airport, coming almost to the roundabout.
Okay, I know where the roundabout is.
Yeah, and when we get to almost there, there's two cars pass us in such a speed. Mr. Seymour. I mean, I felt like this car did this to my face. But my glass was up. And I said, I raised my hand, I said, God, watch out for these people. And the Spirit of the Lord said, you tell me watch out for them and they come to kill you. I still didn't understand. The side of my head started to hurt me.
Right.
The left side of my head. And I turned to Vern and I say, Vern, my head is hurting. I felt like I wanted to vomit. And I say, this is getting worse. I can't take this no more. Come carry me to the hospital. She say, let's go home and we'll call the ambulance. And the ambulance, if the ambulance carry you to the hospital, then they'll tend to you faster if you go in the ambulance. I got up, I walked out the car when we got home. I went in the house, I went in the bedroom, and I laid down on the bed, and I started to take off my clothes because I got very hot. Drex, I didn't realize I was hemorrhaging on my brain, on the left side of my brain. And Then the right side started to hurt. And I tell him, I can't take this. This is too much pain. Do you know the ambulance came? And when I got in the ambulance was so cold. Like somebody stick me in a freezer and close the door. And I said to her, I am so cold. I say, give me a blanket or something. So they say, we don't have a blanket in here. In the ambulance. What is this? She had on a sweater and she took it and she told her, I say, Vern, this isn't working. This ain't working. It's too cold. What I didn't realize was I was dying at that time. By the time as I hit the emergency room, I died the first time. 5 minutes. My brain without oxygen. And when I came back to, I'm looking around, and I see all these people inside this room. This room is full to capacity with people on gurneys all over the place. And I remember the nurse saying, come on now, we have to rush her and take her to surgery.
Another room, okay.
They wanted to crack my skull and put a tube in it to drain the blood off. Get down there, and I died again.
Twice?
12 minutes without oxygen to my brain. And I woke up and I said, so what y'all doing now? Why y'all got a sheet on my head?
Oh, they already covered you.
I was dead. 5:55 p.m. I was dead. That's my time of death.
Oh, wow.
And then I woke up talking. So waking up is one thing, but waking up and talking is a whole different story. And that's something my doctors still struggle with because they try to find out why are you talking? You're not supposed to have the capacity to talk.
You're supposed to be dead, as far as they're concerned.
And like the doctor say, either vegetable or dead. There wasn't no ifs and ands and buts and nowhere in there. If you had opened your eyes again, you'd have either been dead or a vegetable, stone vegetable. And then I am here making noise in the people hospital. They put me in ICU. I come down out of the bed and go and take a pee. And the nurses most went crazy. Miss Harvey, Jesus, you trying to put us in jail? And I say, what? I wanted to pee. I didn't see why I shouldn't get up and go. The toilet is right there in ICU.
Yeah.
And I went right there and I took a pee. And the nurses were still astonished. They trying to figure it. This woman don't know what happened. And one of the nurses literally said to me, you don't know what happened to you today. And I say, not yet. My doctor says he's going to tell me in 2 days. And I believe to this day that they didn't think I would have lived to see 2 days. They kept me in the hospital for 18 days. Listen to this. I went in the hospital the 5th day of the 5th month, 23. That's 2 and 3 is 5. I had 3 5s. 5:55, I died.
Oh.
I got out of the hospital on the 23rd of the 5th month, 23. 5 again. You tell me why I am not supposed to believe who God is in my life.
Huh? You got that right.
How am I not supposed to believe that there's purpose for my life now? Even if it's for 1 day.
Yeah.
You know, a lady asked me one day, you ain't scared to die? I say no. Being there, done that. So I don't go to sleep in the night trying to figure out, Lord, I can wake up in the morning and how this can be. I go to sleep so solid and go to sleep. I snore.
Wow. What an incredible story.
So you see?
Yeah.
God has a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
For everybody.
Absolutely.
And everybody purpose is not the same because you don't have the same fingerprint. So my purpose cannot be your purpose.
Everybody's unique.
Why can't we understand that though?
I don't know.
It is the simplicity of us understanding that he created us individuals for him, yes, but he also created us individuals for each other.
Yeah. And
we don't get that. We kind of run away from that because guess what? That means I have to help you and you have to help and you got to help and you got to help me.
Yeah.
And we're not living with that. We're not doing that. Because sometimes we see people and they on a crutch and we want to move that crutch from under them so that they will fall.
Wow.
But my thing is to anybody that has an encounter with God or has an encounter with drugs, don't despise them. You don't know who they are.
No.
I met a man in Nassau who told me, say he met me 40 years prior.
You remember?
And I of course I remember, but he remembered me because my legs are bow.
Oh, okay.
And he said to me, that's the first time I ever saw bow legs like that, and I have not seen anybody with those legs. So you have to be the same person. I thought you was dead. I said, well, apparently not. I said, and I remember you too. And he said, you remember me? I said, yeah. I remember you with a green, emerald green truck on Shirley Street and Village Road on that same corner.
Amazing.
And he said, and his friend said, oh yeah, we remember when you had the truck. I say, and I ask you to give me $1 and you tell me to do something, and I say, nah, I don't do that. And you hawk and spit in my face. So his friend say, you spit on a woman? He said, oh no, she wasn't a woman, she was a crackhead. So we're people too.
Yeah. You're created by God.
And some of us have issues that other people don't have.
Yeah.
And it's taking drugs or drinking alcohol or being promiscuous or being a liar or a thief. But in the front of God, he don't define any of us different.
Yeah.
Because he has purpose.
Yeah.
And he know your life, what it's going to be out here, then.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Drexel, I thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I thank you for allowing me to give you at least a fraction of my story.
Yeah.
And then somebody can pay to read the rest.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
It's deserving.
No, but seriously, when God has his hand on you, there's nothing anybody can do to stop you from being who you're supposed to be in the earth realm.
Yeah.
I've heard so many testimonies from the pouring of the oil after this weekend. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And if God asks you to stick a pin in it, or he asks you to take the rock and throw it from here over there, do it.
Yeah.
Because we don't ever want to be instructed. We have delinquent churches because they don't want to be instructed. People don't want nobody to tell them how to do what they're supposed to do. And you really can't do what you're supposed to do unless you hear.
Wow.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. What a conversation. Wow. Wow. Continue to be used by God. It's a vessel for him.
I don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
Really and truly.
Well, thank you. You've been watching the Drexel Seema Show. My guest is Prophet Marilyn Harvey. You heard parts of her story, and I hope that you are inspired I hope that you are excited about the plans that God has for you. Of course, your story will be different from her story. But you could use her story as an example to show how God can work in your life and how he can transform you in any situation you find yourself in. You have to believe. I hope you are encouraged. I hope you are convicted. I hope that you are able to make that commitment to God, that you're being convicted by the Holy Spirit, to make that convicted. You're changed, you're being transformed, and you'll be used by him to spread his word and to make a difference in the lives of the people of this world. Too many of us have turned away from God. Too many of us don't know God.
That's true.
There are too many problems in this world, and there are many problems in this world because we have a spiritual battle going on. We no longer fear God. We fear man. We don't fear God. And the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom.
My God.
So I am so happy that I finally got this opportunity to have this conversation with Ms. Harvey. I'm blessed, and I hope you are. Have a great weekend.